There we go. Alright. Simple weather. It's not snowing. Of course, the roads are just lightly snow covered. At least here. Other places might got it worse, but we're fairly close to the lake. We're close to the freeway right now. So I heard the roads were wet, but this is more like snow covered. Maybe the state routes, we'll see. So this is some side roads, which they're definitely drivable. I mean, you don't go too fast. Some people will go fast and stuff because they got good tires. They think you can drive 100, but this stuff here is packed, is icy, it's smooth. It's 31 degrees, so it's borderline. Some places are still wet, other places are icy. Some places are packed ice, some is just snow. It's definitely finally winter time, and I don't know, the rumor is, because we're close to the lake, you know, we're not going to get the foot of snow like other places. Other places could get 1 to 2 feet. We're only supposed to get a few inches of snow, and then the next day or two, light snow. And the other, I don't know the other weather report south of here, but then they say it's going to be like 40s, almost 50s again, so we're going to have 4 days of rain if that's true. So we'll play that by ear, because at this time of the year, if the roads clear off, I don't mind a little rain. I mean, or a lot of rain. We get that November rain, cold November rain. But if it's 40 to 50 degrees, it'll be warm. Not a people, so many people would be flooded out because we had a lot of rain before the snow, and south of us it'll probably, but that's the sad part of it. When we get rain, everybody south of us gets high water. It's just like when the snow melts. When the snow starts melting, everybody south of us starts getting snow water or whatever. So this is just to show you that there's tire paths on the main road. The side roads are snow covered. So far, at least around the freeway, around 90, there's look like a lane to tire pass. Traffic right now, I'd say, is kind of light. I mean, the other people that are coming to work, they look like they got out on the road pretty early to get there to make sure they beat the traffic. And right now, there's usually it seems like there's 10 or 20 more cars on the road. And right now, it's just, to me, it seems like light traffic. Even the freeway, usually it seems like there's a lot more cars, but they're moving pretty good down there. I mean, just looking down the line, I mean, I see about 5 close cars and about 2 or 3 off in the far distance on the freeway. I mean, sometimes it's just line after line of cars in the morning. So now this is a pretty good line of traffic here coming at you, but like this is 45. I mean, here this is actually, it's water, so they must have finally got their treatment to work, or it's enough of it melted after they plowed it. So we actually have water on the roads, wet pavement. It is 31 degrees, but the ice melter stuff's working. Obviously, the side roads and stuff's still going to be ice and packed ice. This looks like light to normal traffic. There, we slipped a little on takeoff. Not sure why. But we did. Must be all the awesome power of this 4-cylinder I'm in. Or it's just little patches of ice that the ice melter didn't catch. Cause, I mean, I don't see the point of speeding at this point. Here, now we are down to wet pavement. So I'm sure all the state routes are probably, well, at least all the main state routes are probably wet. Careful on bridges, they might freeze across. And all the side roads are probably packed snow or ice, wherever it is. Light snow for the next couple of days till it rains and melts it. I mean, I'm almost looking forward to that 40 to 50 degrees. This time of year, like just yesterday, it was 40, 50 degrees, and it felt pretty nice outside for 2 or 3 days in a row. I thought it was like Indian summer, which has frequently happened at the end of November. And heck, they got 3 or 4 more days scheduled on the weather to happen, to where we're going to get 40s to mid 40s at least, but they did say it's going to rain the whole time, so That's basically, since the lake's so warm, that's basically that half a foot to 2 foot of snow that probably would drop. But since the lake temperature is still so warm, it's all coming down as rain, which, that saves us a big hit on snow. Plus, I seen on Channel 19, Cleveland, well, Akron, Cleveland, Canton, where they all call themselves, they're saying El Nino. So if it's an El Nino year, they said the difference is instead of 80 inches of snow, we average 30 inches of snow. So if that's true, we'll have half the snowfall this year. But a lot of times what happens is we don't get no snow till January, and then it comes down, or February, depending on circumstance. So usually we get it all in 1 or 2 snowfalls then, and when that happens, because once the lake temperature drops and it's not frozen across, then we're likely to get a 1 to 2 foot snow. And then they say it's that heavy snow. So if you got a shovel, you can take little bites, or if you got a snow blower, you can take little passes to get the dang drive cleaned out. But 45 is nice and wet. Side roads were snow and packed. So 31 degrees on my car. So I'm guessing the ground temperature is a little colder. So at least 45 is clear, and probably most of your main routes will be clear. The 90, the cars are moving on 90. I mean, they weren't going 110, but they looked like they was doing close to the speed limit. I'm sure nobody would go too fast these conditions. I think he was there first, but he's letting me go. He paused. That's all. Just another beautiful weather day in Ashtabula. Main routes are nice. Can't say that enough. Had to get my first weather report in. Usually I just post it on that other one on Facebook, so I wanted to try to live stream on here because sometimes in the past my live stream has been so jumpy. When I go back to watch it, the volume's good, but the video's jumpy. So I wanted to find out, since it both updated, I wanted to find out if it's still going to be jumpy, because down the road I'm going to need a new camera, new phone, new processor, because you see how these people got live streams that are smooth, and I don't know how many of them are actually working from their phone, but I mean, they're supposed to be pretty good phones. So yeah, the roads are good. Everything's good. Everything's fine. What's this guy doing? I think he wanted to go, but my God, stop the car. Sitting there trying to jump the light. Got cars in front of you, cars behind you, cars beside you. Ain't gonna get anywhere faster. There's a big loader off to the side. Moving snow. They definitely had the snow machine out, and they definitely, obviously, plowed these roads wide and put the ice melter down, because with all the side streets being snow covered, they obviously didn't clear themselves without the sunshine. It was nighttime all night when the storm hit. So good job to the state as usual. Oh, great. Best part of the day. Almost made it. That happens when you gotta go slower. It's either the passenger train. Nope, sounds like a freight train. Could be a coal train coming from that way. Or it could be a freight train. Usually if it comes from the left this time in the morning, it's a passenger train. This is a Canadian Pacific engine. They are 3 engines on there. No, yeah, 3 engines. 4 engines. 4 engines, and they're moving slow. They're hauling coal or pellets and some tankers, and they're going slow. So either they come just from a dead stop at the switch, or it's a big train. I mean, by rights, you think with 4 engines, it could be a big train, but sometimes they're just transferring those engines somewhere else. So until you see the end of it, and you don't know if it's 100 or 200 cars or 50 cars until it goes past. I mean, it's moving like it's full. It's super loaded. But there is a switch down the road a little bit. Down the tracks a little bit, actually. So there's a chance that it's just coming from a stop from a switch, because it probably had to let the other train through. And of course, there was a short train, so I'm guessing it just come from a stop at the switch, because I'm sure there's no 4 engines. That thing would have been out of here. And since it went so slow, it come from the switch. So sure, cars. There's double track here, so you always look both ways on the tracks, because you don't want to pull out in front of a high-speed train or a slow-speed train. So there's a lot of people that don't, but I always look both ways on the tracks. If I can, I figure you might have a half a second to turn in case the lights don't work, or there's no notifications, no audible whistles, because strange things have happened. Feels a little slippery here. The road's almost dry here. I mean, pavement's wet. There's a couple spots that almost looks dry. So the weather's good. They're saying light snow next couple days, and 4 days of rain. You know, it changes with the weather. You know, you never know. It depends on the currents, the jet stream, time, temperature. Some people think places have a secret weather machine. So I suppose if they do, it depends on their mood and where they want the weather to go. But if it's an El Nino year, then that means that it's got something to do with the currents, the jet stream, and I don't know exactly what all causes it, but it has to do with the heat, the equator, and blah, 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 blah. But all that aside, I guess places down there close to the equator actually flood, or the water's so high, they almost flood. Like one of the shows I saw, like obviously 20, 30 years ago, like literally the water depth rises to where a lot of the lands are almost like level with the water, and some of them are actually go underwater a little to where they're flooding, because it just depends how big the El Nino is. It has to do a lot with the water currents and stuff. I don't know how much the moon and the gravity fall into play with that, because there's so much more, from what I understand, to be able to change the ocean levels like that. And it has something to do with the temperature, to where the water's warmer. It's a big process. I'm sure there's videos on it if you want to look it up. But yeah, we're looking at good weather for this time of day. There's no snow, pavement's wet. So there we go. Somebody hit their signal. They must be turning here. Always good to be cautious on these curves. Sometimes they don't cinder them like they used to. They used to cinder and salt every corner, but some of them don't. These are usually pretty good for the state. Alright, so this is another side-ish road, I guess. They call it a county road. So it's not necessarily, it's a main road for the county, but a side road for the state. And it's snow covered in spots. You got tire pass to slippery depending on how the plow went, the cars followed. So it's actually pretty darn good for today. So that's the big weather road review. Take it easy.